Hello virtual explorers, I'm your host AR Somoza from Before the Sequel, and today's video is all about Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice from Ninja Theory. The game's been in development since 2014 and now we finally have it. Hellblade begins with our hero Senua escaping into the wilds seeking redemption, led by a storm of voices uttering the goal of our mission. I say our because the experience given to you by Hellblade can't be felt without Senua. The darkness of Senua's mental illness is the overall theme of the game, gripping you in a twisted and dark, compelling coming-of-age story through a psychotic world manifested by her mind. Her struggles of growing up in a time where doctors or scientists didn't exist, a time her mental health issues are unfortunately perceived as a curse and she is branded as a guilt, a man or woman who has been driven mad by a curse, battle trauma, or grief. Hellblade is a game about mental illnesses. Ninja Theory has built a world based off the conditions of disillusions and hallucinations, making Senua our subject.
I need this sword. It's important. Can you help me?
The hallucinations that are portrayed throughout Hellblade are methodically intertwined with puzzle solving, matching Celtic symbols with different shapes in the foreground, illusions of passages appearing and disappearing. You have to pay attention to find your way around, imploring exploration of the very few but beautifully rendered environments of Senua's mind, which is richly rewarding as you meet various ghosts from her past and learn the history of the gods that control Senua's life.
The Northmen tell this story. Before the Earth was created, there was a world called Muspel.
Another beautiful thing about Hellblade is the rich Norse mythology. You're basically being read the Bible of the Nords. You learn about the 9 worlds, us in Midgar, and our journey with Senua in Helheim. Ninja Theory indistinctly meshes interactions with Senua and live performers in Hellblade. You have distinguishable actors like Stephen Hartley, who played the King of the Wild Hunt, Aridin, in The Witcher 3, opposite Melina Jurgens, who is an actual employee of Ninja Theory, an editor I might add, and starting in her first role. The performances are amplified by unique use of binaural audio, a recording technique that uses 2 microphones to stimulate sound into a 3-dimensional space. The method projects the voices that Senua hears in her mind to your ears, just like if you could hear them right next to you, delivering a very creepy and sometimes disturbing experience throughout Hellblade.
You did this.
It gets worse as Hellblade installs a stark fear of permadeath. You're given a few chances to die, and if the darkness that infects Senua's arm reaches her head, it's game over, and your progress will be deleted. It may sound too hardcore, but the game can be easily beaten in 5 to 6 hours. That's if you're going to explore every nook of Hellblade. On my second playthrough, I managed to beat Hellblade in about 4 hours, and even though it has nothing new to offer for the second time around, I felt the story fleshed itself out the more you play. Her flashbacks and hallucinations strike epiphanies as you start to connect the dots from the ending of the game. It felt like reading a novel backward that, funny enough, made sense. On my second playthrough, because I missed one of the shrines, and they're easily missable, and you need to collect all of them to get a platinum. Getting trophies in this game is very easy, and there's not that many that you're given, but Uh, Let me just check trophies. Um, but it's mainly just gold and silver trophies. You're given 8 gold, I believe probably 9 with a collection of all the shrines, and 5 silver. No bronze. I know, I love that. The neurosis of combat in Hellblade can be overwhelming, especially so when you're cornered by multiple enemies later in the game. You can't upgrade skills to give you a leg up on enemies, but you don't really need them. Senua's offensive is fast, and if you learn to timely block enemy attacks, her counter becomes impenetrable. You have light attacks and heavy attacks, which you can mix to make combos. You have a kick attack to stumble shielded enemies, and a defensive stance that even prevents heavy damage from powerful attacks. There is an upgrade to your sword in the latter half of the game, which offers a new move for tactical advantages in later battles. If you keep your distances and wits about you, the battles aren't that difficult. You're even thrown tips during boss battles. You just need to keep your ears open. I played the game on hard on my first playthrough and then switched the option to auto on my second, which made me feel like a badass but was still caught by surprise attacks. As I said, keep your ears alert. Enemies grunt before they attack and you can easily follow up with a counter. Hellblade gives you the skills enough to survive, but it's not there to cradle you. Even with a limited set of moves, battles are spread out gracefully throughout the game, and every boss encounter is memorable with pulse-riveting events. Still, Hellblade isn't a perfect game. I found at least 3 glitches that forced me to skip back to the main menu and load my save file, which only took a minute due to exceptional load times. Thankfully, because I switched to 60 frames per second, I noticed a slight difference in speed and gameplay. It's available for PS4 Pro users and I'm sure PC, which is nice for console gamers like myself. Even though I did stumble onto some glitches that forced me to start the game over, there are few and far in between. The game overall is well polished. I had no other problems. Yet, you sometimes wish you could do more in the game. It feels isolating and barren, but those are also its strengths. You feel the loneliness and weakness that comes with Senua's sacrifice. For a $30 game, it's really great. Ninja Theory had a lot to prove with this mid-sized AAA game. Or more correctly, AA game, right? For anyone who's beat the game, I suggest you do a second playthrough. It's really well worth it. Your first playthrough should have taken you about 5 to 6 hours at most if you decided to get all the shrines. Your second playthrough, now that you've mastered everything, shouldn't take you any more than 4 hours. That's a solid 9 to 10 hours for $30, plus tax, but it's well worth the money. I hope the game industry follows their lead and starts offering us games with strong story campaigns like Hellblade at half the usual price and no microtransactions. Hellblade can be played on PS4 and PC and it's well worth every dollar. Go buy it now to help support this new platform of a AAA game.